Hey everyone, it's Stephanie with Simarchy, and today's video is presented by EA Game Changers. Thank you, Game Changers, for providing early access to The Sims 4 Cottage Living so that I can build you this adorable tiny house cottage hidden behind a secret waterfall, or I guess in front of a secret waterfall. Thank you so much for joining us today. I do need to give you a quick disclaimer that this footage is recorded so early that it is part of an alpha access, if you want to call it that. Basically, it is not the final version of the software, so anything can change between now and release. So let's get into the speed build. I love Henford on Bagley. It is the cutest world ever. They really did a really good job with The Sims 4 Cottage Living in terms of the aesthetic and the background and the lot choices. I believe there's like 11 lots in total, which doesn't sound like a lot, but they're spread kind of, I don't know, they're spread around the world in a way where it makes sense. And this lot is called Cordelia's Secret Cottage, and it's way in the back by the beautiful waterfalls. And so I wanted to build here. Now I think I built sideways so that we could get the waterfall behind the house, but I didn't really care because my thumbnail gallery pictures are always awful anyway. They never look right, so I'd rather the house look cute than worry about what it looks like on the gallery, which, by the way, I will try to put it on the gallery for you. Hashtag Simarchy or user ID Simarchy123. Now I did want to keep it small enough that it would fit on the lot and look like it fits into the themery, but I also wanted to make it big enough that we can actually fit a sim inside of here. So I did go with the choice of just keeping it one story. It looks like it's a little bit bigger because that roof is so tall, but I just thought that the style of the build made sense for that. I'm not sure if I end up putting any dormers in here to kind of add height to it, but I am adding this decoration. I don't think it actually goes like this. I think it's supposed to go over windows, but I decided to put it there because I thought it looked really cute and it just gave me a little bit of accent and details by the peak. And I'm making my own chimney here. However, there wasn't a double one that came with the pack, so I did just put two next to each other to kind of create the look that it's a bigger chimney. I don't know if that makes logistical sense or not, but I wanted it to look pretty, so that's why I did that. And we have this amazing new wallpaper with the stones. It's really cool. It's like a nice thick stone, and I love the details in that. And so the rest of the cottage, well, actually, I'm trying to build like this cute path winding up towards it, and I don't usually play with terrain tools. I don't know if that's something that might change in the future. Now that we have ponds, I'll probably get more used to them, and I like building like little tiny houses on hills and such, so I will probably experiment with them more. But today I just wanted to give like sort of this long road up to the cottage just for a dramatic effect. And I do spend a lot of the time landscaping. I mean, I really wanted to make the landscaping stick out in this, and so there's lots of trees, lots of greenery, lots of really cute flowers and stones, and just a cute little garden. And I like this new stone path that we got with Cottage Living. I really wish they gave us more colors, because they did give it to us as a floor tile as well. And the floor tile came in such cute colors, but for whatever reason, the actual terrain paint only comes in this one. And so that was a bit disappointing, because I would much rather go around and spray it myself so I get it exactly where I want it, exactly what shape I want it. With the tiles, you're kind of limited, and it doesn't look very organic. Like, it looks like a tile. But other than that, I do really like it. And we do have this really pretty new ivy and wisteria as well, which is the vines that come down and hang down like the little purple thingies. Those are so pretty, and I love the name. I think they're called wisteria. I don't think I made that up. In fact, maybe I should do some sort of specific build just like based around those, because they're so cute. They look so realistic, and they make the cottage just feel like it's really hidden way back here in the forest. I made sure to use some lavender too, because I thought the colors went really nice, of course throwing in all those purples. And I'm trying to get our window just right here so that the wisteria and stuff actually has room to grow. It doesn't actually grow, but you know what I mean. Like, I didn't want it to look like it was straight on the door jamb. And I did use a lot of base game flowers and such too. Besides the ivy and the wisteria that we got, we only got 3 bushes. So we got 3 new bushes, one shaped like a cow, one shaped like a chicken, and one is shaped like a bunny. And yes, I know there's a ton of greenery in debug, even though, or live edit objects, or both of those, even though I made a full review on those and I know that they exist, which, by the way, you can check out that video as well as my full build buy review and a ton of other builds, gameplay review, everything all about the animals, cast review. Make sure you go check those out, and make sure you subscribe while you're at it, and like the video and leave a comment, so it'll help me a lot. But yeah, I know I'm fully aware that it exists, I just hate having to pull up the menu. I don't know what it is. I think it's like digging through it that makes it more difficult for me, but I prefer to just use what's here in the catalog that's easily accessible, and there's enough of it that, you know, I didn't think that I was really lacking on anything. However, I also heard that there is some sort of mod. I assume it's Twisted Mexie's. He always has like the best build mods, but it's supposed to make it so that, I don't know if like live edit objects and debug objects are easier to find, or if he has them sorted in a way in the catalog that makes more sense. So maybe one day I'll end up playing around with that, but I like to use as least mods as possible. In fact, I don't even think we could have used mods in this specific alpha, early access, whatever you want to call it, because I did have the build cam mod by Twisted Mexie, which lets you go into camera mode, and I don't think it actually worked in the game, so I don't know if I could have done that anyway, but maybe in the future that's something I'll think about. And so here I'm just lining up this wonderful path with the bushes that we have already, and again, all this greenery we pretty much have already, and just adding anything purple, purplish, bluish that I could find, and adding a little bit of pop of color. I did want it to look like really overgrown, like it's been here for a while, and although maybe they kind of took care of the property, they probably still let some weeds and some grass just kind of, you know, spill on over a bit. It doesn't have to be perfectly manicured to be taken care of. I like the look. I like the overgrown look, and all the colors are really pretty together. The pinks and the blues and the purples, just, I don't know, they're very whimsical and magical, and they make me happy, and you can really expect to see a lot of cottages coming from me in the future, because I already love them anyway, and now that just gives me an excuse to keep building them. And so landscaping is really something that I try to get better and better at. A couple tips and tricks in case you want to know, which I do in fact have a ton of tutorials as well on this channel, 2 playlists in fact, an advanced playlist with very advanced tutorials on building stuff that you might not have known you can do, like how to make open doors, floating counters, all sorts of fun stuff. And I'm making more, by the way, but yeah, you can check out like my basic ones if you want to get some basic landscaping tips. But the one that I will tell you about is just rotating the flowers. It's the easiest thing ever. Instead of just placing them down, just use the Alt key and your mouse and rotate it a bit so that they have different angles and different shapes, and they look more organic that way. And I did finally get to play with the new pond tool, which I really like it. Of course, I used to make my own ponds before, which again, I have tutorials on that too. But the fact that we can do it without a trim now is what's revolutionary for me, because I was already doing a trick before where I could sink it into the ground and it would get like that edge, you know, it would look like it was coming out of the ground instead of just sitting on top of it. However, there was always a forced trim there, a fountain trim or a pool trim. And so with this, we don't have to. We can literally just make it look like it's coming straight from the ground. I still use my trick of kind of going over it with some terrain paint to make it look like it's really coming out of the ground. Just add a little bit of like dirt and stone around it. And I do have an entire video on how to use the brand new pond tool that we're getting with a base game update. By the way, it's base game, it's not part of the pack. So if you want to get more detailed information on how to do that and all the new objects that come with it, all the new animals like the Decor animals that we could put on the ponds, including ducks and swans and alligators, definitely go check out my pond tutorial video as well. And yeah, I don't know, I really like the tool, so I'll probably play around with that as well, see what more we can do with ponds. And now we're working on a little backyard. I actually really like the way this backyard came. I almost didn't do one because the lot was so small, but I figured we would just add like a tiny little outdoor place in the back where we're not full of plants everywhere. And well, I guess I bounce back and forth a lot when I'm building, so please don't mind me, but we do end up putting like a cute little area back there. Now I'm working on the floor plan because I like to do the floor plan to really figure out where the walls are going to go. And a lot of the builds that I saw in this world that the Game Changers did had these sort of, well, first of all, exposed beams was really cool. I did not get a chance to use exposed beams in any of these builds, but putting like the columns with the half walls, it just gives such a cute look. And we did get these beautiful new columns with the pack, so I figured it was a good excuse to use them. And the kitchen stuff, oh my gosh, I kind of feel bad that it's such a tiny kitchen because the kitchen stuff is really the star of the show in this pack for me. But I do have a room build I did of just a kitchen so that you could go see all the different cabinets and the different counters and the different, I keep calling them swatches. I don't know if it's actually swatches, but like the different configurations. So you can go into your custom cabinets and custom counters and find like different corner pieces and end pieces and things like that. So you'll get a much better look if you check out that video. But here I'm just adding the basics. I'm using the wooden fridge, which I think looks really cool. Definitely looks like it's one of those old-timey refrigerators, like more like an ice box than a fridge. An ice box? Is that what they used to call them? I don't know. And we're using the new wallpaper, which is so pretty. There is this new rug as well that has like the bunnies and the mushrooms. If you haven't seen of my other videos yet, I am obsessed with them. But I decided to go with the flowers on the wall here because there is so much greenery outside. I thought it would be cute. I didn't do a big focus on animals here. I don't even think I added any animals unless I added chicken coop in the backyard. I figured that whoever lives here is way more into gardening and landscaping and making their property look pretty than animals, and really being concerned about animals. And this new door is really nice too. I love it because it works really nice on the interior, and it comes with a lot of like basic neutral colors, so it pretty much matches everything. In fact, I was able to find I was able to find so many things that went well together. And normally I would be a big stickler for woods matching exactly, but it's part of my OCD that I'm trying to let go, because I do have an OCD about things matching and also things being like perfectly symmetrical or perfectly balanced, which that I've kind of gotten over, but the matchy wood tones has been a really hard one for me. I get really bad anxiety when the things don't match, and I'll just keep placing a billion things over and over again until I get something that works. But I'm starting to let it go a little bit with this pack in particular because everything is brown or black or beige. Yes, there's a lot of nice pops of color. I'm not saying that there aren't any pops of color. As you can see, there are some pinks and whites and blues and such, but for the most part, like the base colors used are brown, beige, black, and of course lots of greens. So I really just thought, you know, hey, if it looks like it goes together, even if it's the wrong tone, it makes sense, because especially a home like this, I imagine it's much older, maybe built over time, with whatever parts and pieces that they could find, whatever wooden stuff they could find around. So it makes sense in my head that they're not exactly the same tone. So yeah, I was able to just, you know, concentrate on making it look cute and adding a little office, which we do have this new typewriter that looks like a typewriter but functions like a computer, which I thought was genius because it looks like it, again, just matches the aesthetic, it matches the times, it matches the world, but it functions like a computer, so your Sims can still do what you need to do. You can still, you know, do work through there, get a job, play games, etc. All right, now we're finally working on the backyard. And yes, I did add a chicken coop here, I remember now. That little piece right there with the hanging herbs or herbs, however you say it, I thought was the cutest thing ever. And so I'm just going through and adding all the little details now, and I'm almost positive we put a coop there in the corner. Could not forget my knitting box. I thought that fit perfectly in the bedroom. And yay, we have chickens now. Yay, did not forget the animals, although they were definitely an afterthought, I will admit. I will admit the plants were number one in this house. But I really hope that you like it. I think I did a pretty good job, so let me know if you think I did a good job in the comments down below. Again, please don't forget to like this video, because not only does it help recommend my videos to you in the future, but it helps YouTube push out my videos to other people who might like them as well. And don't forget to subscribe, because like I said, I have a ton of videos already posted and a ton coming, and I just cannot get over how beautiful this world is. It is so absolutely pretty. So if you want to check out my world tour as well, you can see every single lot, and I plan for a lot of builds to be done here going forward. So here's a better look inside of the house and the kitchen with all of our cute clutter. And I have used a lot of base game clutter as well, because if you saw my build buy review, a lot of clutter pieces were missing in this pack, but I understand why. They put a lot of work into the kitchen, a lot of work into the doors and windows, and obviously a ton of work on the gameplay and the animals, which of course is awesome. As a builder, it makes me definitely want to explore more gameplay with cottage living and farm life and all of that stuff. Here's a shot of the floor plan so you can see everything better, and I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!